Sunday, September 1st, 2019, 3 p.m. kickoff time on ESPN2 at Georgia State University. Bethune-Cookman will be taking on Jackson State in the HBCU Kickoff, Meac versus Swac Challenge. Coach Clay Perry of College Football Today will be on the sideline getting all the great news of this epic matchup of HBCU ball. Bethune-Cookman's coming back with Coach Terry Sims. I'll get into that more a little later. But last year I got to cover HBCU football, Southern versus Grambling State. Man, it was epic. New Orleans was a great atmosphere for this game. It was one of the best games I had been around in years. The atmosphere, the bands, it was loud. It was fun. People were having a great time. I documented the greatness that is Eddie Robinson, the historic legendary coach of Grambling State University, who was one of the most winningest coaches of all time in college football history. They actually took Joe Paterno's wins away for a short period of time, which made Eddie Robinson the most winningest coach of college football history, and he still should be today because he ran a clean-cut program and did it from the bottom, started from the bottom, now we're here. It was amazing. It was so epic to study his career, every step-by-step process he took in building the Grambling State Tigers. That being said, looking at Bethune-Cookman and their legacy, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Mary McLeod Bethune, who literally started a university with $1.50, which at the time she started it, probably $20 or $30, in today's, way of things, cash flow, all that stuff. To be able to do that after starting a school for Negro girls was amazing. I don't like to even use that word, but it's what the article said I read. And I think it's, a true testament of what women can do today, especially Black women, any woman. You're looking for equality, be Mary Bethune-Cookman. She's the best example of, being a boss. She was an advisor to Franklin Roosevelt, did a lot of great things. I had this article pulled up. She was the daughter of former slaves. Mary Jane McLeod Bethune became one of the most important Black educators, civil and women's rights leader, and government officials of the 20th century. You guys got to know this before you watch the football game. This is way more important than anything, really, that we've covered at College Football Today. This lady's life was historic, to say the least. She was born on July 10th, 1875, near Maysville, South Carolina. Bethune was one of the last of Samuel and Patsy McLeod's 7 children. I'll attach this article below. By the age of 9, she could pick 250 pounds of cotton a day. That sounds not fun, but she was a very hard worker. Some of her famous quotes are just unbelievable. They really touched me, but it's funny, no church was willing to sponsor her as a missionary, and that's why she became an educator, which I found very ironic about the hypocrisy of some churches that can really, weigh you down. Let's put it that way. They moved to Palatka, Florida, where Mary worked at the Presbyterian Church and also sold insurance. In 1904, her marriage ended, and determined to support her son, Bethune opened a boarding school, the Daytona Beach Literary and Industrial School for training Negro girls. Eventually, Bethune's school became a college, merging with the all-male Cookman Institute to form Bethune-Cookman College in 1929. It issued its first degrees in 1943. This is history in the making, people. A champion of racial and gender equality, Bethune founded many organizations and led voter registration drives after women gained the vote in 1920, risking racist attacks every day. That's what it is. For some reason, people are racist. It's not cool. But she withstood the storm. She was able to conquer a lot through a lot of adversity. And we have to realize that as individuals, how great we really can be after studying Mary Bethune-Cookman. In 1924, she was elected president of the National Association of Colored Women's Club. And in 1935, she became the founding president of the National Council of Negro Women. I still don't like that word. But Bethune also played a role in the transition of Black voters from the Republican Party, the party of Lincoln, to the Democratic Party during the Great Depression. A friend of Eleanor Roosevelt in 1936, Bethune became the highest-ranking African-American woman in government when President Franklin Roosevelt named her Director of Negro Affairs of the National Youth Administration, where she remained until 1944. She was also a leader of FDR's unofficial Black Cabinet in 1937. Bethune organized a conference on the problems of the Negro and Negro youth and fought to end discrimination and lynching. In 1940, she became vice president of the National Association for Advancement of Colored Persons, the NAACP, as we know it today, a position she held for the rest of her life. As a member of the advisory board that in 1942 created the Women's Army Corps, Bethune ensured it was racially integrated. Appointed by President Harry S. Truman, Bethune was the only woman of color at the founding conference of the United Nations in 1945. She regularly wrote for the leading African-American newspapers, the Pittsburgh Courier and the Chicago Defender. Additionally, Bethune was a woman who co-owned Dayton, Florida Resort and co-founded the Central Life Insurance Company of Tampa. Honored with many awards, Bethune's life was celebrated with a memorial statue in Washington, D.C. in 1974 and a postage stamp in 1985. Her final residence is a National Historic Site. So if you look at that history, it's got to be well documented. It's got to be something that we talk about before we talk about this game, Jackson State versus Bethune-Cookman, the HBCU Kickoff at Georgia State University in Atlanta. Coach Clay will be covering this game on behalf of College Football Today. Got our official media passes from ESPN2 in Atlanta. We're very excited about this opportunity. We're very excited about the kickoff for HBCU football. Very excited for Coach Terry Sims. Coach Terry Sims has had a long road himself. He's been at Bethune-Cookman, I believe, for 6 seasons now. A lot of ups and downs, but he plays a tough schedule. The man plays D1 opponents every year, really pushes his young men to the limits in what they can accomplish. Graduating from Bethune-Cookman is very prestigious nowadays. It's a very great university in the state of Florida. We're very excited, to be able to work this game, to be able to cover this game, to be able to talk about the legacy of Mary Bethune-Cookman more. She did some amazing things. She's one of the most influential people in civil rights, in women's equality, in all the things that are coming up in topics today that we need to understand, we need to work through as individuals, especially as people that aren't Black, people that aren't Hispanic and all that stuff, all the racial discrimination against them. We need to step up and stop really hating on them, because they're people too. They're created by God. Some of the best quotes of Mary Bethune-Cookman I want to read real quick. Without faith, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. I mean, that's so easy right there. Invest in the human soul. Who knows? It might be a diamond in the rough. I do that every year. I'm invested in these kids at Scout Trout. No matter what color, race, religion, really doesn't matter to me. They're all souls for whom Christ died, as it says in the Bible. And she was a believer. She had a lot of faith. She believed that, you could push the human boundaries to a very far place if you're willing to adapt to the process, that has been laid out in front of us. Okay, so the whole world opened to me when I learned to read. Once she was granted the privilege to be able to read, the lady took off. So we need to keep people well informed, well educated. I love writing. I love reading. I love historical facts. Sorry for the background noise. I got my roommates didn't know I was videoing, but especially on such a great topic. It's ironic to me. A lot of this stuff, where we're going with college football today this year. There's a lot of big time games this weekend. I got 15 on my ESPN Plus schedule. You should check out ESPN Plus. It's a great network, great way to stream games that aren't on TV and really see what's out there for the NFL draft in 2020. That being said, this game is going to be epic. This game is going to be on ESPN2. You might see Coach Clay in his new college football today gear that he's getting made. I guess he doesn't know it's on the website for purchase. If you want to get some step-up gear, we have our step-up gear for, the eye, the eagle. He's really red eyes. It's really cool. I'm excited for this matchup. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited for HBCU kickoff. I'm going to talk more about the matchup in general tomorrow. Wanted to talk about an HBCU quarterback who's actually white, Shannon Patrick, who is going to be delivering pills this year, darts everywhere. Threw for like 600 something yards last year. I think he was better than Devlin Hodges. And Devlin Hodges is a stud, obviously. You see what he's doing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, but Shannon Patrick threw for like 4,500 yards for Northland Community College. Extremely talented young man. Doesn't always have all the weapons around him either, but knows how to get the ball delivered, knows how to get it out quick. Reminded me of Chad Pennington out of Marshall University, who also played in the NFL for the New York Jets and other teams. But I think he's better than him. I think his upside's brilliant. I think he's really smart. I think HBCU football is going to be a lot of fun to cover this year. Like I said, I covered the Grambling State game last year versus Southern. I thought it was great. I was in New Orleans for it. It was a party. They told me not to go out on Bourbon Street as a white person afterwards, and I still went out and had a great time, letting everybody know I'm half Native American. But we had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. HBCU football's back, man, and they put a lot of guys in the NFL. Grambling even had a kid that committed over the University of Alabama. Alabama wanted him to play quarterback. He wanted to play cornerback. He wanted to start for 4 years. He wanted to ball out. And, Coach Broderick, he's the man at Grambling. They got some really, 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 really talented individuals in HBCU football this year. So I'm excited for this kickoff. I'm excited to document the legend that is Mary McLeod Bethune and Bethune-Cookman University versus Jackson State. We're going to talk more about Jackson State. They probably had a great team this year too. That's why these two got selected for the Meac versus Swac kickoff. HBCU kickoff, the challenge. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be one of those games you don't want to miss on ESPN2. After a great slate of games on Saturday, I'm not going to lie. There's going to be some FCS upsets. There's going to be a lot of great things that you're going to want to watch on ESPN Plus and on the major networks, but games everywhere. I predicted the Illinois State-Colorado State upset last year. I said that was going to happen. It happened. There's going to be more. Nicholls State beat Kansas last year. We don't know if Kansas is going to have that happen again because Les Miles is there. Les Miles don't lose to no scrubs. All right, so here we go. It's HBCU kickoff. It's week 1 of college football season. We documented week 0. Week 0 was epic. It was epic. That Hawaii-Arizona game blew my mind. Just Miami versus Florida. I predicted that one right. We said Florida was going to win. I think we said 27-24. I got to go back and watch the video I made. I forget. A lot of concussions. Played ball myself. So we will see what it is really this year. Who's going to step up? Who's going to create the big upsets that creates the hashtag fear the FCS? I mean, I'm excited. I can't be more pleased with the response we've gotten from other major media networks to allow us on the sidelines for games like this. I mean, it's going to be so much fun. We're excited. I'll be on my way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the next few weeks to go handle some business, have some meetings here and there, but I'll be covering this the whole way at College Football Today and ScoutTrout.com, home of the elite. Smash the like button if you want, even though we had some background noise and stuff. We're trying to keep it professional, but you know what? Started from that bottom, now we here.